Can you survive after being diagnosed with serious alcohol-related liver disease? The answer is yes, you can. I'm still here. Fitter than I've ever been. Normal liver function, etc., etc. 5 years ago, I was taken to an emergency hospital with numerous problems, including ascites fluid, spontaneous bacterial peritonitis. Basically had a 50-50 chance of getting out of hospital. I'm going to run through this quite quickly. So I'm going to go on the benefits of what will happen when you come out of hospital. From then on, I was drained of this fluid quite often. Had a few little procedures done. I was in and out of hospital for 2 years. I never really could walk very well, to be honest. For that 2 years, I was mainly housebound after being pretty fit most of my life. All through drinking lager for most of my life. And 3 years ago, I was still in a wheelchair. For getting around, really, I didn't go out much. Basically, patient transport to the hospital, that was it. I'd been in every hospital in the area, or 5 of the major hospitals. I'd been into resus, I'd been into intensive care, the whole lot. And diagnosed with several things, including the liver disease, the ascites, the SBP, the spontaneous bacterial peritonitis, tonic-clonic seizures, malnutrition, weight loss problems. I was down to 9 stone, 6'3". Imagine what it was like. Terrible. However, moving on from there, 3 years ago, I managed to pull myself around a little bit and start to walk a little bit with a little bit of motivation, a bit of help, and some determination and courage. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to get out, you've got to do some exercise. Even if you don't really walk 10 yards. I had a very good doctor who said, look, do these 2 things. Walk and eat. The 2 things you don't want to do when you're feeling unwell. Built on that a little while, started to get 10 yards, and 20, then 30, then 40, then 50. Still felt anxious, still felt weak, all that sort of thing. But the fluid had dissipated by then. And I was feeling a little bit better. And then I started to regain my confidence again a little bit. And then I was seen by the hospital at that time every month. The Freeman Hospital in Newcastle, quite a famous liver transplant hospital actually, but I didn't have a transplant. Thankfully, didn't need one. However, liver function proceeded to get better and better. I was on a clean diet, no alcohol of course, and I started to walk a bit more. Then managed to get myself away on a little trip somewhere, because I hadn't been out of the area for years and years. Just stuck in my flat, going from the flat to the pub, the flat to the off licence, and the pub to the pub, the off licence, back to the flat. Not eating properly, feeling very down, trapped. I said anxiety, terrible thing. I kept just focusing. You've got to focus on getting well. It's not easy. There's no magic solution. If you've been drinking for 40 years like I was, I mean, I held down a good job, but I was a steady drinker from the age of about 15 really. You've got to focus, you've got to really push it. Every day I push it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. If I'm getting a bit out of hand with the diet, if I've had too much chocolate or any sweets, I cut them down again and start from scratch. Go back to basics again, clean diet. If you want to live a long life, you want to live well, and you want to keep fit, you've got to focus every day. It's a lifetime battle for people. Anybody who know who's had any addiction, it's not easy. But I'm here to help you. And if anyone can turn it around, I can. The list of diagnoses I had was incredibly long. So I was in intensive care. I had problems. I had a massive umbilical hernia, which split is the best way of putting it. Nearly bled to death. This is all during COVID. Got taken by emergency ambulance. I had to put 2 blast bandages on me. I still wouldn't hold the blood. Got into resus. I'd never been to resus as a patient. I used to go in resus now and again when I was in the police in London. But just be a patient is a scary place. But they know what they're doing, they're experts. And the surgeon was there with his kit already, and he basically said, if this doesn't work, the fluid leaks, then there's nothing more we can do really. Because when you get this ascites fluid, it builds up, and the umbilical hernia builds up, the skin becomes very thin, and it starts to seep this fluid. You get an infection and that, you're dead basically. not to put too fine a point on it. So getting back to focusing, so I've got myself put together a little bit. I got myself back in my own flat about 2.5 years ago. I got myself to the gym a little bit. Take it very easy at the gym. Don't push it. One day at a time is the only way to do it. Get yourself some good food. That's key to it. If anybody asks me now, because if you look on any of the posts I put on, there's a lot of before and after pictures, and I'm quite unrecognisable, to be fair. I'm back to normal weight now, and when I was 9 stone, I looked that had been in a war zone, to be fair. I was, the walking dead, to be fair. People used to stare at me, even in hospital, and think, God, he's ill. I used to hear people, this guy is really gravely ill, Now, as I said, if I can do it, you can do it. But you have to keep focused. It's not going to take over your life. You still got to have relationships and things, but this has got to be your main thing. You've got to look after you, because if you don't look after you, you can't look after anybody else. And you become the main focus. It's not a selfish thing. It's a self-preservation thing. And once you've cracked it, the world will open up to you again. And you can do the things you missed out on. I did a video last night about where could I have been now? You maybe got to forget about the past, but somebody asked me to do that. We're talking about reminiscing about old days. If we hadn't drank, where would we be? But forget about that. Let's move on to today and tomorrow and the next day. Your main focus is your sleep, your diet, your exercise, your self-care. When you stop, you get more, mental health. You have more clarity for a start. You'll have more money. That's a big thing. When you're a drinker, you never have any money, because you're constantly spending it on taxis, alcohol, buying drinks for people you don't even know, buying food you're not even going to eat, wasting money. I don't know about you, but when you had a few drinks, you buy things which you wouldn't normally buy sober. For instance, I bought a new car once. I wasn't even driving it at the time, because it's a mind-altering drug, isn't it? So focus on yourself, and that's the only way you'll come through. And you can't do it. A lot of people will give up, and a lot of people give in. I was in one of the hospitals, the Freeman, which is the liver transplant hospital, for once. I was speaking to one of the transplant surgeons there, and Sunday was just his day of doing the rounds, really. It was a quiet day in the ward. I had a chat with him. And I said, do many people go back to the drink after I've been through all of what I've been through? He said, people go back to the drink even if they've had a transplant. He said, the power of addiction is incredible, especially with alcohol, because it's so readily available. It's everywhere, isn't it? And I mentioned in another video, I had a friend who came on and off, a bit like myself, relapsed a few times. And he used to go to this garage, not far from where I am. It was a 24-hour garage. They sold alcohol 24 hours a day. So he sneaked out of his house. He had an incredible wife who supported him. And he used to get cans of beer and cider and all sorts from this garage. You can get alcohol anywhere. You can't get cocaine anywhere in the middle of the night. I've never been a drug taker, but I know people who do take these sort of things. It's much more controlled. Alcohol is everywhere, isn't it? Births, deaths, marriages, Monday to Sunday, all over the world. You can get alcohol. In most countries you can anyway. Because it's socially acceptable, there's more addicts, and there's a lot more deaths related to alcohol than will ever be made public, because you hear about the deaths from pancreatitis, from heart attacks, from strokes, from liver disease, from kidney problems, from accidents, and drink drives and crashes and all that sort of thing. There's a lot more than that. That isn't put down to alcohol, but it's alcohol based, and it should be abolished. It will be abolished eventually, but not in my lifetime. So take that with you, and if you want to stop, you've got to really push it. If you want any help, drop me a line. I've got an ebook out as well. If you get any benefits from the channel, please subscribe, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care.